Today, we're going to show you how to make a woven purse with a pocket for your phone and enough space for all your stuff. Materials. You'll need a plastic canvas 34 by 57 centimeters, one ball of bulky weight yarn, number 16 embroidery needles, 2 sets of swivel hook and D-rings, purse feet, an 18mm magnetic purse clasp, pliers, a marker, scissors, tape, and our Fabricland free printable pattern. Step 1. Cut out the pieces of the plastic canvas. Cut out a piece of canvas that is 5 squares wide and 57 centimeters long. Trim up the edges. Then, cut out the template, taping the 2 pieces of panel D together. When cutting, this is the layout we use to reduce waste. Use the pattern as a guide for where to mark out the pieces. Make sure you count out the correct amount of squares before cutting. Cut out the indicated corners. Use the picture on screen as a reference for which squares to cut. Step 2. Prep the panels. Mark the midpoints of panel A, B, and C, as well as the long edges of panel D. On panel D, mark where the feet will go, as well as the side seams. Using the scissors, cut out the side seams. Step 3. Stitching panel C. Measure out and cut an arm's length of yarn. Thread the needle and insert it from the back into the top left square. Pull through, leaving a 1-inch tail. Insert the needle into the 5th square of the row and pull through, making sure to hold the tail. Turn the panel around and insert the needle into the 2nd square from the top. Make sure to sew over the tail. Keep stitching until the last 2 to 3 inches of yarn. Transfer your needle into a new piece of yarn and insert the needle into the same square as the tail. Stitching down, incorporate the 2 tails. To cast off, thread your needle through the stitches and cut off the excess. Step 4. Stitching up panel D. Stitch up the 2 gaps on panel D. Make sure to incorporate the tail into the stitches. Make sure the stitches are loose so the panel can lie flat. This allows for the bag to flex more when it's finished. Step 5. Adding the D-rings to panel D. Grab your D-ring and align the straight edge to the top right of panel D. Insert your needle into the 4th square from the top and the 2nd from the right. Pull through, holding a 1-inch tail. Stitch over the D-ring by inserting the needle in the square directly below and pulling through. Continue stitching to secure the D-ring. Once you reach the end, go over the D-ring in the opposite direction. This ensures it's extra secure. Using the same string, insert the needle into the back side of the top right corner. Create regular stitches while also filling in the thin column to the left. Continue regular stitches until the marking for the purse foot. Step 6. Adding purse feet to panel D. Once you reach the marking, stitch past it for 3 more rows. If it helps, you can add a placeholder into the marked square. Grab one of your purse feet and insert it through the yarn into the marked hole. The outside of the foot should be on the same side as the D-ring. Using the backing as a guide, mark where to bend the metal leg. With your pliers, bend the legs into a right angle. Slip on the metal backing and firmly press down. Use your remaining yarn to weave over the metal backing. Keep going until you reach the marking for the next purse foot. Once you reach the end, repeat steps 5 and 6 on the other side. Fill in the middle column with regular stitches. Step 7. Adding the magnetic purse clasp. To add the purse clasp, mark out the spots on panel A and B. Snip the holes for the magnets on both panels. In order to add the magnetic purse clasps, you will need to stitch around where the magnet will be. On panel B, stitch from here to here, as well as up here, but avoid this area. Continue stitching down here and then fill in the area to the right. Once the area is filled in, add the female magnet so the face is on the right side. Add the backing and seal with pliers. Then, weave in the backing and fill in the rest of the panel. Repeat the steps for panel A. Step 8. The strap. Taking the strip cut in the beginning, cut 10 squares off every corner. Grab your thread and needle and start stitching into the 4th square down. Once you reach the wider part of the strap, stitch 3 more rows down and stop. Add the swivel head and match the 2 exposed ends. Continue to sew, incorporating the 2 pieces together. Once you run out of yarn, repeat on the other side and then fill in the middle section. Step 9. Stitching it all together. To start assembling the panels, line up the bottoms of panel A and C along with the midpoint of panel D. As you stitch, make sure the needle goes through all 3 layers. Once you reach the corner, follow the diagram on screen as a guide. Square A and square 1 are the last squares of the row. To start the curve, stitch into square 2 and square B. Make sure you're still picking up all 3 layers. Square C will also be sewn into square B. Sew square 4 and 5 into square C. And finish up by sewing square 6 into square D. Stitch up the other side and repeat with panel B. Make sure that the magnet of panel B is facing outward and you start stitching in the middle. This ensures proper alignment. The last step is to sew around the entire mouth of the purse as well as the outside of the strap. Add the strap to the rest of the bag and you're done. A perfect purse, handmade by you. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to check out fabricland.ca for more DIY projects.